Hi, my name is Glenn Young and I'm the owner of Artscapes Framing. We're located in the Bay Area of California and we have another shop here on Maui. I've been in business for more than 20 years and I've known Alan for 15 years, so we've been framing antique posters for over 15 years. I got my start in framing working with museums, so most of my work has been in preservation of artwork. When I met Alan, I was very interested in these stone lithographs just because their age, you know, over a century old, some of them. So it's been very interesting to me to frame these pieces. So I know that when you bring in these pieces, how valuable they are to you. We'll look at the visual elements of your piece and we'll choose what works best with your artwork. We'll also find out about your aesthetic and about your home, and we'll take those aspects into consideration and we'll find something that looks perfect with your piece. So when you bring in your piece, you're gonna, you know, it's gonna be like this. It's preserved by being mounted on a linen backing. And we'll look at samples like this, for example, and we'll get feedback from you. This is an example of a finished product. In this situation, what we did was we chose a frame that has elements of red and gold in it that relates nicely to the piece, and also the motif of the piece relates to the aspects of the wine and the cupid. And we chose a fabric. This is a silk liner that we put in here. It's something that adds texture and warmth. It brings your eye into the piece. And in here we have what's called a fillet, and that's just an edge to the fabric, and it brings your eye back into the piece. So that's just a little bit about design. Now the important aspect about framing is you're bringing it to us to preserve it. The whole object is you're going to just come and frame it once. This is going to be something you're going to enjoy for the rest of your life. And because of that, you have to frame it properly. If you don't, you're going to have problems with your piece down the line. Now, the first most important aspect of framing is going to be choosing the right type of glazing. We use only UV filtering plexiglass. If you have another framer, make sure that's what they use. That's the minimum consideration you want in your framing. The UV plexiglass will filter out the UV light, and the UV light is something you can't escape. It's just going to cause a breakdown in the paper. It can accelerate the effects of acid, any contaminants that are in the piece. But if you bought the poster from here, the acid's been neutralized. But the other thing it'll do is it'll slow the process of fading and of the loss of color. Other aspects of protection of the piece is we back the piece with what's called an art care board. This is the state-of-the-art microchamber technology that neutralizes the pollutants, any contaminants that are in the environment, you know, just in the air, the stuff that you breathe in every day. That is used by a lot of museums, and it helps to preserve the artwork. So we use that. The other thing is in the mounting. That's probably where I see most framers mess up. They mount the artwork improperly. If you mount it improperly, for example, you see some framers dry mount or glue the piece down onto the backing, and that'll cause problems. One, once you do that, it devalues the piece right off the bat because it becomes a permanent part of the backing. We mount it in such a way that it can be easily removed without affecting the integrity of the artwork. The other thing is your artwork it's paper. It's almost a living thing. You know, it expands and it contracts. It moves with the environment. If you don't allow the poster to move the way it wants to move, you're going to have problems down the line. Things like wrinkling and waviness, delamination. There's another thing we do too. You know, most of the frames that we use are wood. Wood has high acid content and it outgasses. That's why if you've ever seen frame pieces or old mat board that's acidic, that's been cut, and you see the yellowing on the edges like that, that's from the acid that's present in that material. So what we do with wood frames, if it's not sealed already, is we will seal up the inside of the edges, and then that gives you a sort of a enclosed environment that's protected from acid leaching into your piece. And one last aspect is, it's an engineering aspect. A lot of these posters that you frame are really large, and because of their size, they have to be framed with the proper allowance to allow expansion and contraction of the piece, and also with a substantial enough frame to support the piece. If you use too thin a frame, you're going to have problems with it coming apart, or you're going to move it somewhere and it's going to start splitting on the corners. That's our job as a framer, is to recommend the proper size frame along with the best design, and give you the best product that'll preserve your piece forever. Thank you.